What's causing this market to stall out a little bit? And is it long-lived and here to stay? In this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown, but it's somewhat artificial. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you some projections of what I think is going to happen as we go forward in the next couple of months. Hey everybody, Jason Panos here, Remax Infinity. So market statistics for the month of February 2022. We saw some interesting dynamics within the market. Things went up and things consistently went up. But what's interesting is everything went up together and we still saw a little bit of a stagnation. What we saw in the month of February was a little bit more increase in the number of homes we actually sold. It was about 100. Okay. Last month in January, we saw roughly about just under 800 homes. In the month of February, we saw just under 900 homes that sold across the MLS. The same thing happened. We actually saw a slight decrease in the number of active homes going into the market, whereas we saw about 75 homes or so less. That's about what we would expect. You know, the number of homes will start to increase as the season lets on, but the number of homes that sold went up by about the same factor as the number that went down. So obviously with supply demand, that's kind of a problem. Price increase. Prices went up about $9,000 on average of what the average sale price was in our market. Last month, we saw just about $340,000. In February, we saw about $349,000 was the average sale price that we saw in our system. Okay, so everything kind of crept up. That's kind of a normal market as we start to get into the spring. But what was interesting, and what I said I was going to explain to you at the end of this video, was the interest rates also rose. Now, why did I think that that was certainly something to pay attention to? Well, when you see interest rates rise, what you'll usually see is everything else start to fall. That's usually what the market would do if you look in history as rates start to go up, especially as fast as they went up over the last month. What's interesting by this is that everything still crept up. Homes still sold, prices still went up. Here's what I think's going on, because the common question is the market start to stall? It's really not. What you're starting to see is the buyers that are shopping at a certain price point are getting price out of that price point. And now they're realizing that they're buying something that is slightly less value because their affordability certainly has changed as rates rise. I gave the analogy that if you're trying to look to buy a Porsche and you realize that you got priced out of that and now you have to consider the Toyota, once you convince yourself that that's the price point we need to be shopping in, is when those buyers start to flex and they start to buy that inventory. It's kind of what we're seeing. We're seeing a little bit of a stalling period. Buyers are understanding where they're at, and that's the conversations that a lot of agents are having with their buyers, and I certainly am with mine. So if you start asking me to help you find a home, this is a conversation we're likely going to have, assuming it takes us a lot longer to find the right home. Hopefully this was educational. Hopefully you got something out of it. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Certainly for the sellers, we're still finding buyers very quickly for your homes. We're able to market them. We're able to get them sold in a reasonable amount of time. But the buyer who's going to find your home is definitely in a different bracket. So we have to market it slightly different. If you have any questions, reach out. See what I can do to help. I'll see you sometime this month.